Hi, I'm Jill Chippers from Shop Your Wardrobe.
And I'm Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style. We've been asked the question about when you're putting an outfit together, how do you know that things are working? How do you train your eye to make outfits work? Now, I think Jill has great style. She puts lovely outfits together all the time. She gets stopped in the street all the time. So don't tell me, talk to the hand if you think that's not true. She's always getting stopped. Like, she's got great natural style, what appears to be great natural style. Right. But is it true? Have you learned to train your eye? What is your process of knowing that the outfit is good?
Yeah. Well, thank you for the compliment. It is nice. I like those kinds of compliments. And I guess there's a few factors. One is, I guess I do have a natural interest in style. I've always been interested in this kind of stuff. My Barbie dolls had, tortured lives and wonderful wardrobes. And so, ever since I can remember, this stuff, getting dressed, has always been interesting to me. That said, whilst I think that helps you to be stylish, it's certainly not sufficient. You need something else. And to get dressed quickly and seamlessly and successfully can look like there's some magic involved in it. And if that's not your experience of getting ready, you can think, oh, I'll never be able to do that. And the answer is you can, in your own way. And here's a couple of things that have really helped me. Knowing colours and styles is absolutely essential. I do not know how people can get dressed in a way that has any kind of creativity and they have any confidence without knowing that information. You got to know what looks good on you in both of those areas, and also what you love. So, the range of colours that might look good on you can be huge, and your own personal favourites might be smaller than that, or might be the full range of the rainbow. And so that is so essential, to have that kind of information. And then there's just playing around with your wardrobe and trying things out, and give yourself some time to do that. And nothing else you do will replace that. It's having some experiments and play shops and trying things on. One of the things I suggest in a blog post is when you're doing this, check in at the end of every day. How do I feel wearing this outfit? Have a conscious moment, assuming you haven't been reminded all day of how the outfit has made you feel, if it hasn't been always positive. But that's a really good exercise, that you train your own eye and your own body and sense of feeling and whatever else goes into it for what works for you. And why this is important is because rules and guidelines are terrific. You got to know them. But what works for you, you are the only person on the planet who can work that out. And you do that through this process of what works for me, and asking yourself that question and listening to the answer and adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. And that's the big part of what makes my getting ready process work for me. Is I've already done so much of it. I still do it. I'm so fascinated with style, everybody's style. I'm still interested in my own as well, which hopefully means I'm always learning. And that's just helped me to get my own process so that it is fairly streamlined now.
And I think too, when we're thinking about training our eye, like learning those rules, so whether it's the rules of proportion, your kind of figure flattery rules, scale, colour, how things work together, mixing colours,
refinement. Some of the stuff I've learned from you has been really helpful. Why certain things they're too refined for me.
Yes. So there's all the kind of rules which I talk about on the blog all the time, so that you can go and look them up. But then it's there's an element of training your eye, and this is where absolutely. I highly recommend at the end of every day, go, how did I feel in this outfit? Like that's going to tell you a lot about that, either emotional, your physical, if it felt binding or constricting, or even a mental feeling. How did I mentally feel in it? But then this is where taking outfit photos really helps. And even for yourself, when you did last year took some photos for a blog post. And it even still helps you, you seeing it in a physical form.
Oh yeah.
When we look in the mirror, we never look at ourselves in the same way as when we see a photo. A photo is just slightly more objective.
Absolutely.
It allows us to see ourselves as a whole. And this is where, too, looking at photos of yourself, you can train your eye going, now I see the proportions not so good. Now I see that I'm lacking in some contrast, or I've got too much. Or now I can see that that one of those items is to relax to go with that much more dressed up piece. They just don't feel like they fit together. So we can start to see the rules in action, and this is where I think training your eye comes in. I think it's a conscious analysis in some way or other. It doesn't suddenly happen.
No.
And this is why you talk about having play shops in your wardrobe where you get dressed, you try things out, you put different outfits together. You know, so that's something that can be really great for people. You know, even just every day, if you go put an outfit together and try things out. And one of the other things, particularly if you take some outfit photos, is put them all together, like create a collage. And it's amazing where you'll go, that outfit is much more successful than that outfit, and why is that? So then it's get that and go, okay, well, what rules have been applied here? You know, what's the contrast? What's the proportions? Are the colours right? You know, all those sorts of things. And it's not about the expression on your face, because often with a photo, our expression can put us off. So just be wary of this. Often if I'm taking a photo of a client, I'll even chop, I ideally don't chop their head off. But it's, you know, like at least smile a bit, because often if we're kind of getting all concentrated on looking in the camera and getting the photo and I've got this constipated face on, you know, we'll hate the whole outfit. Rather than, you know, so try and put a smile on, because at least then when we're looking at ourselves, and there are tips that I've got on the blog about how to take a reasonable outfit photo. That can help to make us feel better, but I think this is when it's then bring that analysis back. Get rid of the emotion, because quite often we have emotions attached to clothes. And so it's when we can kind of be a little bit more analytical, which is not everybody's thing.
But you know, listening to you talk about that stuff, it's really quite interesting, because that blog post where I did a series of photos for you, and I looked at them quite a lot, because you know, everyone, you had to take 12 photos to get one decent one. And some of them you think, I look like I put on 5 pounds, and that is literally from one day to the next, where no weight has been put on or lost in between those two. And so that's one piece of information. The second part of that is, what do you do with that information? And I think the analysis and how to correct the one where you're carrying a bit of extra weight or so it looks like is one thing. Another thing I've done is just sort of take note, and I don't know, I just let it float. I really don't do anything with it too much. And I can be aware that if I put on an outfit like that, it may not be physically the most flattering in that I might not look as slender as I do in something else. But I might still wear it because it makes me feel good on another level. And there isn't too much analysis involved in that, but I am aware, and I think that's always helpful.
And look, one of the things that's fascinating is now Jill has a natural inclination towards style. And
interested in it.
And well, you did image consultant training many years ago, so that's some dedication. And what's interesting is you actually said your style got worse after you did your training. And I think it's because you tried to go it's that when we try too hard with the rules and we miss the personality element. And so this is why that I'll have outfits, I'll go, I don't look as skinny in that one as I do another one, but I don't care, because it's about expressing my personality.
That's right.
It's not always about looking slim.
And that's so true, you know, because looking taller and slimmer, I mean, these are good things to have in mind, but it's not the be all and end all. Just because you don't look tall and slim in something doesn't mean you can't look great in it. You can look great because it makes you feel so fantastic, and that shines through on some level. And I tell you, that is a piece of liberating insight, to be able to say, yeah, this isn't my skinniest outfit, but geez, I feel great and I'm going to wear it.
And I think when we kind of really develop and have a great understanding of our personality aspect, you know, element of style, and I think this is why Jill and I both think it's incredibly important to understand how our personality influences our style. So when we put something on and it feels like, I think clothes are a second skin. They're what keeps us from being naked. This is why I couldn't wear Jill's clothes, she couldn't wear mine, apart from a couple of pieces. But
the turquoisey ones.
But you know, like there's some people out there that if you gave me a check flannel shirt, I would have to have been, the only other thing I would be is naked to wear that. Now, I have no issue with check flannel shirts, it's just not me. It feels wrong on me. And so this is where that personality, understanding that comes in, and I think this is where it's not just training your eye. You can train your eye to see proportions, to see scale, to see how the colours work, the contrast, all those sorts of things. That's where the photos and a bit of self-assessment come into it.
Yeah, it's a good activity to go through.
Absolutely, great activity. But then I think there's always that, is it on the inside?
Yeah.
Ticking my boxes.
Yeah, I personally don't feel my style journey is slowing down or coming to an end. In many respects, I feel it's entering a new chapter and becoming even more interesting. And so that's another really important piece of the puzzle, because you're never really done, and that's good news.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't mean more work and, you know, will I ever get this thing ticked off? It means that as you morph and grow, you get the chance to have your style match with that, and I think that that's really exciting. So training your eye is really good. That's a really good activity. But training your heart and your soul is also a part of it as well. What makes your heart sing? And these are the things that make your style indefinably yours, uncopyable by anybody else.
And if one of the things you are thinking about is, like, I don't know how to put an accessory, or I don't know how to do something, well, why not create a Pinterest board and find a whole lot of images of people in outfits that you like, and then see if you can then analyse them and go, why does that work? What are they doing? Hey, I've noticed they've got this sort of necklace or that sort of thing, and say you have a tendency to wear silk scarves, and you go, I'm always overly dressed up and I really like this outfit, and you go, yes, the woman in the outfit's wearing a scarf too, but it's a cotton scarf, which has got a different level of refinement, a different feel, to go, oh, okay, maybe I'll try cotton instead of a silk. Like, it's actually noticing those details. And so often when you get 20 or 30 images on Pinterest, you really start to see the big picture. So if you're naturally a detailed person where you're getting bogged down in the detail. So one of the things we want to think of that can be really useful is we want to zoom in for the detail, but zoom out for the big picture.
Absolutely, you got to do both. And you know, we have a preference for detail or big picture. Most of us are aware of that kind of understanding of personalities, but doing both is really, really helpful. I'm much more of a detailed person, and I get to the big picture by sort of putting all the pieces together, and then I can see the themes. So helpful to be able to get that sort of 10,000, 20,000 foot view and have a look at things, as it is to go in the opposite direction. So you really want to be doing both, and a Pinterest board is a brilliant way of being able to do both of those things, because you can drop into the detail and then stand back and see those things.
So so I think, you know, there is a little exercise if you want to help hone your eye, help your, you know, train yourself to start to see, well, how are successful outfits put together? Look at the, you know, it might be that there's someone at work that looks really great. Why not just every day think, okay, well, what's she wearing, and what makes it successful? What is it that I like about it? And very often when we look at someone that we go, we really like, we think they look great, it's because their style not only works for them physically, but also it expresses their personality.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like their clothing is a second skin.
It's a second skin, and that's why when we try and put on somebody else's outfit, it doesn't work. It doesn't give us the confidence, and it doesn't make us feel right, because we're trying to replicate somebody else's outfit instead of creating our own.
Absolutely.
So, look, you know, these are just some little tips and tools to help you think about training your eyes. I mean, there's just 1,000 blog posts, there's 2,000 blog posts, which can give you the rules and the details and the guidelines. But then it's up to you to actually start doing a bit of that analysis, whether it's both the detail and the big picture. And I think that's when you'll become more successful. And, you know, and ask for feedback. This is why, you know, my style groups are great, because you can say, well, you know, I don't feel this is working. What could it be that's wrong? Or, you know, like, and just ask for that sort of feedback. And it can really help you go, oh, okay, now I see it. Oh, now I see it. Oh, that's why it's not working as well as I had imagined in my head.
So tell us in the comments about your process of training your eye and training your heart and training your soul and training whatever it else is that you're using in your process for putting outfits together that feel great for you.
Yeah, what's worked for you? We'd love to know.